Have you ever been petting your cat? Everything seems perfectly calm, and then suddenly they walk away, ignore you, or even nip your hand out of nowhere. Most cat owners just shrug and say the same thing. Well, that's just cats. Moody, independent, impossible to read. But here's the truth most people never realize. Your cat usually isn't ignoring you because they're being difficult. In many cases, they're actually pulling away because the exact things you're doing to show affection are overwhelming their instincts. In other words, some of the most common loving habits cat owners do every day are the very things that make cats quietly lose trust. And today, we're breaking down 5 affection habits you should stop immediately, including the most common one that almost every cat owner does without realizing it. 1. The belly rub betrayal. You've probably seen this moment before. Your cat slowly rolls onto their back, stretches out, and suddenly that soft, fluffy belly is right there in front of you. It almost feels like an invitation, so naturally, you reach down and give it a little rub, and within seconds, your cat grabs your hand, kicks it with their back legs, or suddenly bolts away like you just crossed a line. Most people assume the same thing when this happens. They think, well, dogs love belly rubs, so cats must too. It seems logical. If a cat is showing their stomach, they must want it touched, right? But in cat psychology, that moment means something completely different. In the wild, a cat's belly protects their most vital organs. It's the most vulnerable part of their body. Exposing it isn't an invitation, it's actually one of the deepest signs of trust a cat can offer. When your cat rolls onto their back in front of you, they're essentially saying, I feel completely safe around you. But the second we reach down and start rubbing their stomach, their instinctive defense system fires instantly. Their brain goes from safe to protect yourself in a split second. Researchers studying feline behavior have even found that touching the belly can cause a rapid spike in stress signals because the body interprets it as a threat to a vital area. So when your cat suddenly grabs your hand or runs away, they're not being dramatic. They're reacting to an instinct that's thousands of years old. The better response? When your cat shows you their belly, simply acknowledge it. Speak softly. Maybe give them a gentle scratch on the cheeks or under the chin instead. That way, you're honoring the trust they just gave you, instead of accidentally betraying it. And honestly, once you start recognizing these tiny signals, your relationship with your cat changes in ways most owners never experience. If you're learning something new about your cat already, type 1 in the comments so I know you're part of the community that actually wants to understand cats. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the next habit on this list is something almost every cat owner does without even realizing it, and it quietly pushes cats away over time. 2. Skipping the cat handshake. Imagine this simple moment. You walk into a room, see your cat sitting there, and instinctively reach down to pet the top of their head. To us, it feels like a perfectly normal greeting, just a quick friendly touch to say hello. But in your cat's world, that interaction can feel strangely abrupt. That's because cats don't experience the world the way humans do. We rely heavily on sight. Cats rely on scent first. When two bonded cats greet each other, they don't immediately start touching or grooming. Instead, they approach slowly and touch noses, exchanging scent information. It's their version of a handshake, an introduction that confirms identity, safety, and familiarity. So when a human hand suddenly appears above their head without warning, your cat hasn't had time to process who you are through scent. From their perspective, it can feel a little like a stranger walking up and hugging you without even saying hello. That tiny moment of confusion can cause them to lean back, flinch, or quietly step away. And if this happens over and over again, something subtle begins to change in your relationship. Instead of leaning toward your hand, your cat may start anticipating that sudden touch and instinctively pull away before it even happens. The fix is surprisingly simple. The next time you approach your cat, extend one finger slowly and hold it a few inches from their nose. Don't move, let them decide. If your cat leans forward and bumps their face against your finger, that's the green light. In cat language, they've just approved the interaction. From that moment on, the petting feels cooperative instead of intrusive, and cats tend to relax much faster when they feel like they had the choice. Because to a cat, trust isn't just about affection, it's about permission. But even when you greet your cat the right way, there's another surprisingly common habit that can still make them quietly walk away from you. And it starts with something many people believe is the ultimate sign of love: simply looking into their eyes. 3. The unblinking look of love. Here's a moment almost every cat owner has experienced. You're sitting across the room, your cat looks up, and suddenly the two of you lock eyes. So you stare back at them for a few seconds, thinking it's a sweet, quiet moment between you and your pet. But then something strange happens. Your cat slowly turns their head away, stands up, and walks out of the room like the moment is over. Most people assume the same thing. My cat just isn't interested in bonding right now. But in cat language, that moment actually means something very different. Among cats, direct and unblinking eye contact is rarely friendly. In the wild, it's usually a signal of confrontation. Predators stare, rival cats stare. It's the visual equivalent of saying, "I'm watching you." So when we stare deeply into our cat's eyes without blinking, something humans associate with affection, our cats may interpret it as a subtle challenge or threat. That's why many cats instinctively break eye contact first. They're not being rude, they're simply trying to de-escalate the situation. The fascinating part is that cats actually have their own version of a friendly eye signal. Instead of staring, they slow blink. If you've ever noticed your cat looking at you and slowly closing their eyes for a second, that's essentially their way of saying, "I feel safe around you." Researchers studying feline communication have even found that when humans return this slow blink, cats are significantly more likely to relax and approach. So the next time your cat looks at you from across the room, try this instead. Soften your gaze, slowly blink once, and then look slightly away. To a cat, that gesture translates to something incredibly comforting. It says, "I trust you too." But even when your cat feels completely safe around you, there is one moment when their instincts are at their most vulnerable. And surprisingly, many loving owners accidentally disrupt that moment in a way that makes cats quietly start protecting their personal space, especially when they're asleep. 4. Scooping them up while they sleep. There's a moment every cat owner knows. Your cat is curled up somewhere in the house, maybe on the couch, maybe in a warm patch of sunlight, completely relaxed and peacefully asleep. They look unbelievably cute. So cute, in fact, that you can't resist. You walk over, gently slide your hands under them, and lift them up for a cuddle. To us, it feels like a loving moment, but to your cat, that experience can feel completely different. Sleep is the one time a cat's guard drops entirely. In the wild, falling asleep means temporarily giving up their ability to watch for danger. That's why cats instinctively choose very specific places to rest, places where they feel absolutely safe. So when a cat finally relaxes enough to fall asleep in your home, it means they trust that environment. But the moment they're suddenly lifted into the air while asleep, their brain goes into emergency mode. Their heart rate spikes, their muscles tense, and their nervous system immediately switches from rest to survival. Even if they calm down a few seconds later, something subtle gets recorded in their memory. The place they chose to sleep wasn't as safe as they thought. And when this happens repeatedly, cats often start changing their behavior in quiet ways. They begin sleeping in more hidden places, under beds, inside closets, behind furniture. Not because they don't love you, but because they're trying to protect the one moment when they're most vulnerable. The best thing you can do is surprisingly simple. If your cat is sleeping peacefully, let them rest. When they wake up and choose to come to you on their own, that interaction will always feel safer and much more meaningful. And if you're someone who genuinely wants to understand the hidden psychology behind your cat's behavior, type 4 in the comments so I know you're still watching with me. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because these tiny changes can completely transform the way your cat trusts you. But even if you do everything we've talked about so far, there's still one extremely common habit that causes cats to suddenly bite, grab your hand, and run away. And the strange part is, it usually happens right in the middle of what seems like a perfectly happy petting session. 5. Petting the danger zones. Here's the moment that confuses almost every cat owner. You're sitting with your cat, gently petting them. Everything seems calm. They're purring, relaxed, maybe even leaning into your hand. So you continue with long, slow strokes down their back, sometimes reaching the base of the tail. And then suddenly, without warning, your cat spins around, bites your hand, and runs off. Most people interpret this as their cat randomly switching moods. 1 second affectionate, the next second aggressive. But in reality, something very specific just happened inside your cat's nervous system. Cats have extremely sensitive skin. Beneath their fur are layers of tiny nerve endings that respond quickly to touch. At first, petting can feel pleasant and calming, but after a short period of repeated stimulation, those signals can flip from enjoyable to overwhelming. This reaction is known as petting-induced overstimulation. The areas most likely to trigger it are along the lower back and around the base of the tail. These regions are highly sensitive, and when we repeatedly stroke them with long motions, we can accidentally push our cats past their comfort threshold. Your cat isn't suddenly being mean. They were actually trying to enjoy the moment with you, but their nervous system reached its limit. And the bite or swipe is simply the fastest way they know how to say, "That's enough." This is why many cats seem perfectly happy one moment and defensive the next. The key is learning where cats prefer to be touched. The safest and most comforting areas are where their scent glands are located around the cheeks, under the chin, at the base of the ears, and along the sides of the face. When you focus on these zones, cats tend to relax deeply because you're interacting in the same places they use to greet and bond with other cats. Instead of overstimulating their body, you're communicating in a way that feels natural to them. And when you start respecting those physical boundaries, something remarkable often happens. The swatting stops, the sudden bites disappear, and your cat begins staying close to you much longer because the interaction finally feels safe. So if your cat has ever suddenly walked away, ignored you, or even swatted your hand during what felt like a loving moment, it doesn't mean they're moody, and it definitely doesn't mean they don't care about you. Most of the time, it simply means they've been waiting for you to understand their language. Cats experience affection very differently from humans. When you stop forcing human-style love onto them and start respecting their instincts, something amazing happens. Your cat stops pulling away, they start staying closer, and those quiet moments of trust begin happening more and more. Now, I'm curious about your cat. Which of these surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments, and if you enjoy learning the hidden psychology behind cat behavior, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Because once you understand how your cat's mind really works, your entire relationship with them changes.